Evaluating potential technology options can be overwhelming for a lot of organizations. There's a lot of criteria to consider, but what's the most important criteria? That's what I'm going to talk about here today. My name is Eric Kimberling. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent consulting firm that helps clients throughout the world reach the third stage of digital transformation success. And today I'm at the NetSuite Suite World Conference, and it's just one of many conferences that I go to each year. And Third Stage is not affiliated with NetSuite, but at this conference, I wanted to find out from potential buyers and others in the industry what the most important criteria for selecting software is. So with that being said, let's go into the conference and find out what they have to say. So I'm here with Kimber and Ben from SPS Commerce. First of all, tell me what SPS Commerce does, Kimber.
Yeah, so SPS is the world's largest retail network. So we are working in the supply chain, helping suppliers, buying organizations, logistics partners streamline the exchange of data. So order data, item data, analytics data, sharing that. We really take the heavy lifting for them so they can focus on their business with all the important information that they need from their partners.
No, very cool. So Ben, what is the tech buyer's number one thing that they need to be aware of when they're evaluating potential tech options?
Yeah, I think whether it's SPS or another solution, from an SPS context, customers buy from us because they want to take a manual process and make it automated and do so with a way where they don't have to employ staff to make it work. So I would say truly understanding your return on investment, not only what is the hard cost of a solution, but what lift do I have in employee time and consulting time to actually execute on what I want? That's really critical for customers to not only make good decisions now, but ongoing to make sure it's an efficient purchase for them.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. What would you add to that, Kimber?
I would also just say I think it's important for them to think about the big picture. What is everything they are getting with that? Building off of what Ben said of what are their costs to do something, what is their partner going to do for them, right? And making sure it's an apples-to-apples comparison of the big picture of things so that ultimately they're getting their needs met with a full-service partner so they can, again, focus on what they want to do best in their business.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that piece of it when they're valuing tech options, but it's so important, like you guys both said. Good stuff. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'm here with John and Holly from FreightPop. First of all, tell me what FreightPop does.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. So FreightPop is an enterprise transportation management system that is integrated natively and bilaterally to NetSuite. Essentially, what we do is we automate the entire shipment lifecycle process across all modes. So that would include like parcel, LTL, full truckload, ocean, air, rail.
Got it.
Yep.
So when you're selling to enterprise tech buyers, and enterprise tech buyers are evaluating their options in the market,
Sure.
What's the number one consideration that tech buyers should be aware of when they're evaluating their technology options?
Great question. Understand your ecosystem, right? So for instance, FreightPop lives within several ecosystems, one being NetSuite. That's the one we're kind of most heavily into right now. And ultimately, these ecosystems, they put a lot of effort into making sure that the holes and gaps in their ecosystems are filled by specific partners, right? So make sure to do your research and understand exactly what partner is going to fill that specific need for you, and like let that ecosystem and marketplace kind of be that first part of your search, right?
Right. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Ollie? What would you add to that?
I would say in addition to that is finding a partner that's going to integrate to your existing tech stack. So whether it's going to integrate with your CRM or accounting software, like you don't want to run into that roadblock of, oh, now I have these software systems and they don't communicate, they don't work well together. It just re-clunked my process and it actually didn't streamline anything. You want to consider what's going to work well together.
Right. Not create new silos with new technology. Right.
It happens.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm here with Rachel from Braintree. Rachel, what does Braintree do?
Yeah, we're a payment processing provider. We process credit cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, local payment methods, PayPal and Venmo, obviously. We accept them all under one gateway.
Great. Now, when enterprise tech buyers are evaluating technology options, whether it's Braintree or any other solution, what's the number one criteria that they should be considering when they're evaluating those options?
Yeah, I would say ease of integration is really important, and level of customization if it's going to fit your business needs. Obviously, we want to tailor to specific merchant needs, and we do that really well at Braintree with our system integrator. We offer a really good level of support. We also offer multiple currencies, local payment methods, so it's really a global product, and you're able to accept it using one solution.
Yeah, it's very important. And that integration piece, a lot of times companies don't think about that and consider that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So it's something we do really well at Braintree.
Great. Well, thank you. So I'm here with Steven from 3G. First of all, tell me what 3G does.
So 3G is a transportation software company. We have a cloud tier 1 TMS called 3G TMS. And then in the NetSuite space, we have a product called 3G PaceJet Shipping. We've been a Built for NetSuite partner since 2009. Provide services to over 600 NetSuite users, manufacturers, distributors, e-commerce retailers, you name it. Generally, if somebody is shipping products, we have solutions to be able to help them manage the outbound side of their warehouse.
Great. So when enterprise tech buyers are evaluating technology options, what's the number one thing they should be aware of or think about when they're doing that evaluation?
Right now, I would say look at the ROI, look at the value, make sure that you're building a business case to justify the spend of what you're going to be purchasing. I think there's a lot of vendors out there, a lot of systems out there, a lot of new functionality that's getting rolled out. I think it's important for buyers to make sure that the vendors that they're talking to can follow through on what they're promising, but then also make sure that there is value, there is a clear ROI to be able to return that investment, make sure you're justifying the cost to the internal team when you're making that business case. So I would say value partnership, make sure that you know what you're getting and you're following through, or the vendor's following through on what they're promising.
Yep. And make sure you're not buying a bunch of shelfware. Right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. Good advice. Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm here with Kevin from Celigo. And first of all, Kevin, tell me what Celigo does.
So Celigo is an iPaaS vendor. We're actually one of NetSuite's largest integration platforms. What we do is we help our customers actually integrate their SaaS world as well as with their on-prem, so they get the maximum value out of the investments that they've put into their technology stack to service their customers.
Great. So you're selling to a lot of enterprise tech buyers.
Absolutely.
What's the number one consideration or thing that enterprise tech buyers need to consider when they're buying new technology?
You know, I think the number one thing is, how do I not silo myself? I've got to have the flexibility to meet not only the demands of today, but how do I future-proof myself for what tomorrow may bring? So just like we're starting to see AI as a huge conversation here at NetSuite today, it's fundamentally just shifting us. And if you can't adapt, you're just not going to succeed in this world.
Great. Well, thank you, Kevin. So Eric from TrueCommerce, good to meet you. Tell me a little bit about TrueCommerce.
All right, TrueCommerce is an EDI provider. We've been an SDN certified product since 2013. And we provide EDI across both retail, supply chain, CPG, and automotive. And that's us. That's
Great.
what we do. We do EDI.
Great. So you sell to a lot of enterprise tech buyers.
Oh, yeah. Enterprise, so the product is scalable. Small to extremely large enterprise.
Great. So when you're selling to enterprise tech buyers, what's the number one thing they need to be aware of or consider when they're evaluating their tech options?
Well, I think they kind of highlighted it just now that scalability is a big deal. Many companies are startups. They start out very small. And just like with NetSuite, they need to be able to scale all the way up to having a lot of retailers, for instance. And that's exactly what we do. And that's why we partner with NetSuite.
Great. So I'm here with Emily from HighRadius. And to start, tell us what HighRadius does, Emily.
Okay, so we are the autonomous finance platform for the Office of the CFO. And our three main focus areas would be record to report, order to cash, and treasury. And this is to optimize your working capital, to reduce your cash buffer, as well as to reduce your month-end close.
Great. So Emily, you sell technology to technology buyers, of course. So what's the number one thing that you think tech buyers need to consider when they're evaluating their options?
I would say really, an obvious is pinpoint what their current challenges are. A lot of the challenges tend to be surrounded around manual tasks and processes. Just because you're using an ERP doesn't mean you're, going to have those difficulties still in place. So I would say, looking into AI would be probably incredibly important for the future now. If you're really wanting to optimize your capital, then that's the way to do it. It's going to be through, automation. It just is going to alleviate so much pain. You're going to have much faster, month-end close and just being able to have a team that's focused more on important tasks versus the back office tasks, which can be done for you through automation. So I think it's important. I think it's important for any, executive to be looking into these problems if they're wanting to capitalize
Right.
and optimize. Yeah.
So not AI just for AI's sake. It's AI to add business value.
Exactly. I think that is the future, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, people are starting to really, get on board.
Yeah.
As well.
Great. Thank you. So I'm here with Stefan from FloQast. Stefan, first tell me what FloQast does.
So FloQast is an accounting workflow automation platform, and we really focus around your close and then expanding there into operations and compliance. And we take everything you do and we put it in checklists, we operationalize it so you can see with deeper insights what your team's doing it, how they're doing it, when it needs to be done, and really just drive away from the mundane tasks, automate those, and get your team focused on value, strategy, and tasks within the organization. And so we kind of help that whole ecosystem out. But we start around your close and then we expand from there.
Great. So when an enterprise tech buyer is looking at and evaluating new technologies, what's the number one thing they should consider when doing that?
So the number one thing, and this comes from data, a research that we did with the University of Georgia Consumer Data Analytics Program. Dee Warmoth, a very smart lady who's done stuff for the Federal Reserve and everything, did a big survey on this for us, and she uncovered that what's perhaps most important are really two things. The first thing is making sure you focus on a technology solution, not a technology system. And what I mean by that, and what we think really drives that, is it's integration within your entire ecosystem, not just to your different ERP functionalities, but does it integrate with my email? Does it integrate with my Teams, my Slack, whatever you're using, my storage, OneDrive, Dropbox? And then along with that integration and being more of a solution, is it built for the user and how the user wants to solve their problem, or is it built by the technologist and how the technologist wants to solve the problem? And we find that most are built by technologists and not by users, and that drives a big issue and friction point. When users try to then use it, they end up with a routine relationship where they're not seeing results. They're still bogged down in mundane things. They're still burned out from work. And if they actually have more of a synergistic relationship because it's a solution and it's purpose-built for them and the way they want to use the tool, all of a sudden you really see the technology promise that we've been toted on for years actually come into fruition.
Right. Yeah. Great stuff. So regardless of what type of technology you might be evaluating, I hope this has given you some tips from other industry leaders on what they think is most important when you're evaluating potential options in the marketplace. And for more information on your evaluation process and tips and best practices and software rankings, I encourage you to download our 2024 Digital Transformation Report. Each year we put out this report to highlight the top systems in the marketplace, a comparison of different systems, as well as best practices to ensure that your project is more successful. So you can download that by scanning the QR code here, or you can go to the links in the description field below. So if you found this information useful, I hope you have a great day. You should turn the camera and just get her.
Hey, Chelsea. Got her.
She can't cut it. So I'm here with Emily from HighRadius. And Emily, first of all, tell me what HighRadius does.
So we're doing this again?
Yes.
Oh, we are doing it again.
So I'm here with Justin and Holly from...
John.
I'm sorry.
Justin, yeah.
Sorry, we'll get this.
This interview is a disaster so far.